Perhaps not an obvious region for rum making, you might think, but Mexico, Canada and the US have quite a rum history. Rum was actually the first American spirit. Rum runners, Triangular Trade, US resurgence, now 250 producers. It's time to explore. Let's dive in. Hello, Hendo here. Welcome to Rum Region Deep Dive North America. In this video, we'll explore rum making between Mexico and Canada. I've covered some countries in the Central America and Caribbean region videos. Here I'll look specifically at geology, Mexico, Bermuda, Canada and the US. First to geology and geography. Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula is vast limestone plain with jungles and climate for sugarcane growing. Yield conversion not as good as the Caribbean to be competitive. Hilly central areas of Veracruz, Oaxaca and Tabasco. Tropical climate in the south and more temperate north and Pacific west. United States has varied geology and geography. Sugarcane is mainly produced in Florida with its organic soils, long season warm winter, also in Louisiana's sugar belt and Texas. Hawaii is geologically unique, formed by a hotspot, has active volcanoes and climate for sugarcane growing. New England's infertile land and Canada's climate is not suitable for sugarcane growing, made them look to the sea for trade. We start in Mexico. Sugarcane was brought to Mexico by the Spanish in 1520, 500 years ago, and sugarcane was then cultivated in the tropical Veracruz region. 1535, Rodrigo Albornoz built the first trapiche sugarcane mill in Zempoala region. It's still the most productive region today. Its climate near Gulf of Mexico with warm trade winds and rains. Rum became Mexico's national beverage in the 18th century and blended with tequila that was not labelled 100% agave. 19th century Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, now a vacation destination, saw brutal conditions on small haciendas to harvest sugarcane and produce rum. In the mountainous Oaxaca, famous for mezcal, Paranub's rum is like Mexican agricole, wild fermented fresh pressed sugarcane juice spirit. 100 years ago in Michoacan, there were 80 or more rum distillers in the region, but now it's about 6 or 7. Farming avocados or berries makes more money. Their rum spirit is called charanda, meaning red soil. After volcanic rich soils, the sugar cane is grown. Charanda can be only made in Michoacan and is only sugar cane distillate with an official protected denomination of origin DO since 2003. Uruapan Charanda Blanco in western central Mexico is blended 50-50 cane juice spirit in copper pot still and molasses in French still, bottled at 46 ABV by Pacheco family since 1907. There's Gustoso white rum from Michoacan, double pot distilled cane juice spirit, more like a Clarin from Haiti. East of Mexico City is Liquors Veracruz, founded in 1950, produces Ron Los Viente, 20-year-old, the Valiant, named after Mexican Revolution, a blend of column and pot still juice and molasses. Off to Bermuda now. In 1660, rum bullion, meaning pandemonium, was used to place an order in Bermuda, North Atlantic island famous for Gosling's Black Seal rum, named after the black sealing wax. They've always blended rum from Barbados, Jamaica and Trinidad. Gosling's Black Seal is famously used in a dark and stormy cocktail with ginger beer. Gosling's family goes back to 1806. Tax haven Bermuda was used in rum running trade in the Prohibition era. By the way, rum running was just a name for any liquor being smuggled. It was often whiskey. Now to Canada. Canada's east coast maritime provinces are steeped in rum. Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador were colonised throughout the 1600s by fishermen from France, Netherlands, Portugal and mostly from England. Codfish was dried, salted and packed into barrels and shipped all over the world. Saltfish was shipped to the West Indies in exchange for rum as part of the Triangular Trade. The fish helped feed slaves. Saltfish became the staple diet of the West Indies and rum became the drink of Newfoundlanders. Both sets of workers exploited by wealthy traders. Canada's rum social currency mirrored early New England coastal communities with much in common, and Scottish settlers in Nova Scotia drank rum before whiskey, and still Nova Scotia very much a rum country today. In 1916, Ontario was a major site for rum running as nearby state of Michigan in the US banned alcohol sales early. During Prohibition, Nova Scotia and the French island of St. Pierre was a liquor smuggler's gateway for Caribbean rum, which ended up in New York, Boston and other US cities. Canadian rum today is a mixed bag. There's Newfoundland Screech, imported Jamaican rum they use, added water, colour and flavouring before bottling. Ironworks Distillery and Micro Distills, Blue Nose, Dark Rum and Nova Scotia's South Shore. Nova Scotia Spirit Co. Fisherman's Helper Rum uses a blend of Caribbean rums. Chick Chock Spice Rum is 100% Quebec from Nordic Quebec spices. And on the west coast a few make rum with honey. Divine Spirits and Drunken Hive by Wayward Distillation House on Vancouver Island, and True North Distillers in Grand Forks. To the United States. Nowadays there's more than 250 rum producers in over 30 states in the US. Historically, rum shaped American history. In the mid-1600s, sugar and molasses were exported from the West Indies to New England, where colonists made their own rum. Massachusetts and Rhode Island were highly regarded. Before the American Revolution, local farmers distilled as a side business. In the same way, Scots started Scotch. Molasses used as it was cheap and available. France banned rum production in their New World territories to end the domestic competition with brandy, which meant New England distillers could undercut West Indies producers. Then Britain introduced 1733 Molasses Act to stop their own colonists' free trade with the French, taxing all non-English molasses. But Americans defied the tariff and smuggling boomed. In 1752 there were at least 30 legitimate distilleries in Rhode Island, with 22 in Newport, making it the rum capital of the world. In 1770, according to Wayne Curtis, there were over 150 rum distilleries in New England, collectively importing 6.5 million gallons of West Indian molasses, turning it into 5 million gallons of rum. Molasses was money, rum was money. Nearly all rum exports from the West Indies went straight to North America. A sailor's daily rum top fueled more demand in the ports. Britain imposed the 1764 Sugar Act and Molasses Act of 1774. The French Caribbean, who had lost trade, allied with the New England colonies in the Revolutionary War. 1776, slavery existed in all 13 colonies, with Massachusetts first to abolish it outright in 1783. New England was, in colonial times, the global epicentre of the rum trade, with lumber and cooperage for barrels. George Washington sealed his election in rum bribery and ordered a hogshead of aged Barbados rum for his 1789 inauguration party. Rum was still big business in America until the early 19th century, but Britain continued to limit America's access to Caribbean molasses, choking off domestic rum industry. American distillers turned to whiskey. Corn was more available. The sugar and triangular slave trade was on the decline. By the 20th century, temperance reformers blamed demon rum for corrupting American culture. World Wars and 1920s Prohibition killed off remaining domestic rum distilling. During Prohibition, American bartenders went to Cuba and brought back their daiquiri rum cocktail skills to US bars. Smuggled Caribbean rum came from Canada, and Rum Row was off the coast, New York City to Atlantic City, 12 miles out in international waters where liquor selling boats met. Then tiki culture revived rum in bars. Don the Beachcomber, 1930s Polynesian inspired travel spread across California. Trader Vic's rum and Mai Tai cocktails tailed off in the 1960s. The cocktail revival started again in the late 90s. Early 21st century US craft beer revolution rose, then bourbon boom. With over 2,000 distilleries, many now make rum. Premium and aged rum has grown as connoisseurs cross over from the whiskey boom with cigars, and seen by many as good bang for your buck. But today most rum producing American distilleries sell young spirit, batch distill and pot stills, or hybrid pot and column stills, pure single rum. There's a few agricole style, flavoured spice rums. Some make it because they absolutely love rum, and others to extend their line of whiskey, gin and vodka. Let's take a quick tour. I won't mention them all. Here goes west to east. Hawaii first, Kohana agricole style, Kahlua rums in 2009, Old Lahaina rum and Killarney Distillery in Maui. There's Cook Inlet Distillery in Anchorage, Alaska. Oregon Rogue Spirits, Still Wagon Distillery, Cannon Beach Distillery since 2012. California has many rum producers. San Diego, capital of craft, has 7 caves. Malahat Spirits, named after a Prohibition era ship. Old Harbour Distilling since 2013. Cutwater Spirits, Char Bay Distillery in Napa uses sugarcane syrup from Hawaii, distilling French alembic stills. Lost Spirits in LA has cast strength Navy style rum using lab grown dunder. Bruno Mars backed sale of Array Rum in LA, rum distilled in Pece, Panama. St. George Spirits, founded in 1982 in Almeida. Colorado's Montaña Distillers, female founded and owned in the Rockies. Journeyman makes Rhodes End rum, reminiscent of Jamaican style. In Texas there's Balcones Distillers, High Rum, Rallion Rum, Pierre's Texan Rum, Wild Horse Distillery. The Sugar State, Louisiana has 3-year-old single estate distillery. Bayou Rum, named after the river. Noir Rum, Old New Orleans Rum, Artisan Grain Rum in Iowa. Indiana has Best, Cardinal Spirits and 18th Street Rum. Tennessee has Pritchard's Fine Rum. There's rum all the way up the eastern seaboard. Florida has quite a few. Black Coral Rum, Chef Distilled, Hemingway Rum, and Siesta Key Rum, St. Augustine, St. Petersburg, Alligator Bay Distillers and Wicked Dolphin. Pennsylvania has Big Springs, Bluebird Distilling and Maggie's Farm Rum. Richland Single Estate, Old Georgia in Georgia. In South Carolina there's Carolina Moon, Copperhead Mountain, Copper Horse, Defusky Island Rum, Firefly, High Wire Jackal and Striped Pig Distillery. North Carolina has Broad Slab, Lassiter, Muddy River, Outer Banks and Raleigh Rum. Maryland has Leon Rum, Picaroon and Secrets Distilling. New York has Van Brunt, Due North Rum and Noble Experiment, both in Brooklyn. Rhode Island has Thomas II Rum, named after a pirate. There's the New England Rum Trail, worth an explorer. In Massachusetts there's more than a dozen producers, with Boston Harbour, Ragged Mountain Rum, 888's Hurricane Rum, Bully Boy in Boston, Grand 10, Deacon Giles, Old Ipswich Rum and Privateer, with head distiller Maggie Campbell putting North Atlantic maritime style rum firmly on the map. And finally in Maine there's 8 Bells Rum, Rusticator Rum, Wiggly Bridge with their Dunder Pit and Tashtego Rum in Portland, Maine. So let's see what the future holds with these North American craft rums on the rise and still growing. Tell us what you think of North American rum. Put your favourites in the comments. Watch the other rum region videos in the series. And if you're interested in projects, contact us at hendotalks.com. As always, welcome your feedback. I hope this was useful to you in some way. And until next time, thanks very much for watching.